Yeah, well, this is just a short story about this Baba quote here. I think it must have been 79 or 80. We were up in Marabad, and it was the Amatithi. And Erich, of course, was up for 3 days and 3 nights. And quite a few of us would hang out with him at night. But we would go home to bed during the day, and he would carry on talking to everyone during the day. I'd been there for about 2 weeks at Mundley Hall and that, and Erich was talking a lot about a letter that he wrote, being determined to be his. We have to be determined to be his and rely totally upon him. And he was talking about that a lot. And so when it came to the night time, there'd be a small group who would hang out with him. Like, say, when you got to about 10 o'clock at night, the crowd would have dissipated and people would have gone home and that. And I figure there would be 12 to 20 people just hanging out with Erich, you know. And we would go over to near the Samadhi or wherever he would go, and we would just sit around him and he would chat and talk about, different stuff. And then later on, he'd walk over to the Gaudi seat, and then, about 2 in the morning or so, we'd walk down, all of us, down to the chai wallahs, and they'd be going all night. And so one of them would anyway. So we would get chai. Erich would insist on paying for it. And so we'd have chai and that. And then we'd come back up the hill, and a few people might want to go into the Samadhi, and then we'd go over to one side and hang out with Erich. Whatever he wanted to do, we'd just hang out with him, And so it was going on like that, and then he was talking a little bit about being determined to be his, which was his sort of theme during the day. But then, just out of the blue, he says, well, for 40 years, we thought Baba said, I have come not to teach, but to awaken. And we all said, it really caught our attention. We said, hey, Erich, yeah, that's what he said. He said, no, he didn't. We said, no, come on, Erich, what are you talking about? And he said, I have come not to teach, but to awaken. But he didn't say to awaken us. And we said, well, what did he say? Where are you going with this? And he said, it took us 40 years to realize that he said, I have come not to teach, but to awaken myself in you. And we all went, whoa, hey, this is a new one. We haven't heard this approach before. And so he elaborated on that somewhat. And but it was really from left field. Everyone was freaking out, going, what? This is quite different, And that he has come not to awaken us, but to awaken himself in us. So that's where that quote comes from.
Baba always told us that he comes to awaken us. It is said, we know that. He says, I have come not to teach but to awaken. He never said awaken you. Then it took 40 years for us to understand that he comes time and again to awaken himself in us. Yeah. It is. And what are we? He said, you are nothing more than an lifeless cradle for me. And I being infinite existence, infinite eternal, that makes the cradle rock and move, you see. And when I once awaken in you, you are no more. See? The signs and symptoms of his awakening also makes one feel that what's happened to this person is no more like that. What is it? Then you call him a must or God absorbed or somebody, you see. He's no more than he's getting awakened in you. So all what you have to do is to carry him tenderly and rock him as he wishes so that he can be nourished and nurtured, and when the time comes he awakens. And that is known as the breaking of his silence in each one of us.